Hello and welcome to Thomas Geiger Car. Today with the 5th generation of the Range Rover. The car that wants to prove that it's still the pinnacle of luxury SUV. A segment that has grown a lot. We have Rolls-Royce Cullinan, Bentley Bentayga, Mercedes Maybach GLS, BMW X7 and soon even a Ferrari Purosangue. And the Range Rover that once invented this segment 50 years ago and that reinvented itself now. If you want to know how this vehicle competes in this segment and how this vehicle stays on top of the competition, join me on my test drive and I'll tell you more about it. You won't need the big letters stating Range Rover to recognize the vehicle because the shape is iconic and design chief Gary McGovern has done a brilliant job to keep this iconic shape. The car is modernized in every inch and every detail, but it still is a true Range Rover. Very sleek, very refined, lots of lines taken off. While a Lamborghini Urus is very aggressive, a Bentley is very shining, and a Rolls-Royce is very posh, this car is pure sleekness, pure elegance. I really like it and I would say it's one of the most beautiful SUVs in the segment. Talking about the proportions, the size is almost the same, 5 meters and 5 in length, but the wheelbase has been increased for 7.5 centimeters, changing the proportions, giving the car more stance and giving more space to the interior. And if you still want more room, there is a long wheelbase available as well. 20 centimeters more wheelbase, 20 centimeters more length, more luxury, more presence, more room. If we come around to the back, we see the new phase of the Range Rover. While the front and the side profile are pretty much the same as we know it since more than 50 years, the back is at least a bit of a revolution. It is very sleek, very slim for a car of that size, and it looks very modern with the new taillights and with this black sign over here. But same as every Range Rover before, also the 5th generation has the traditional split tailgate that opens up the upper half, folds down the lower half, gives you easy access to a great trunk and a comfy seat for your picnic or just sitting down and enjoying the beautiful scenery. Driving the new Range Rover is an extraordinary experience because the car has such a wide range of capabilities and such a wide range of characters. It is a hardcore off-road vehicle and goes to places where you don't dare to bring a vehicle that might cost 125,000 euros in the base version and will easily end up at 250,000 euros at the topper end. So you have the off-road capability, you have a very comfortable, very smooth ride on the country road that absorbs everything. It feels just like smacking on the road, sticking on the road, and it's like, yeah, that magic carpet feeling that we usually only know from Rolls-Royce is pretty well transferred here as well. Air suspension, tilt control, so the car is really stiff and strong and just glued to the road, and you're feeling like in a palace and the world outside is just very far away. But that's only the one side of the Range Rover. There's another side, and that is a pretty new side. The car is very, very agile. Not only that it has lots of power, no surprise for a luxury vehicle. No, it really handles well. For the first time ever, Land Rover has installed a rear wheel steering, tilting the rear wheels for more than 7 degrees, reducing the turning circle to just a little more than 10 meters, making the car very handy, very agile. That's good if you have tight turns in the off-road. That is good if you try to park that big thing in a small parking lot, and that gives you lots of ease and lots of comfort once you're on a fast highway or autobahn, because changing lanes has never been as stable as with the new Range Rover. The power for all that comes from a wide variety of engines. We have the inline 6-cylinder engines with 3 liters of displacement that Land Rover is building on its own as a diesel with 300 horsepower, 350 and 400 horsepower, or as a petrol with 400 horsepower, all mild hybrids with 48-volt system. That's the one side. Then we have a traditional V8. No, it's not the 5-liter supercharger from the models before. It is a brand new turbocharged engine that Land Rover is buying from BMW, delivering 530 horsepower and propelling the vehicle to 250 kilometers per hour in the standard versions and even 261 kilometers per hour in the sporty SV version. And that's still not it. There are 2 plug-in hybrids on the lineup with up to 520 horsepower and with a battery of 38 kilowatt hours, giving you an electric only range of more than 100 kilometers. Still not enough? There is more to come. If you like the Range Rover really dynamic and really agile and really aggressive, you just have to wait a little longer and you'll find a new Range Rover Sport. A bit more compact, a bit more defined, a bit more condensed and more sporty. And if 100 kilometers of electric drive is too little for you and the consumption of an average of just 1 liter still too much, 2.5 years and the Range Rover will go fully electric as well. As I already said, the designers have done a tremendous job with the new Range Rover, not only from the outside, also in the interior. The car is very traditional on the one side and very modern on the other side. That is not only due to the material, so you have lots of leather, lots of metal, but it is not this dusty old English club style. No, it is a very modern, very refined luxury with details like ceramic plating on the buttons or on the gear lever here in the SV model. And you have lots of digitalization. It is a pretty conventional layout, old-fashioned like you know it from all the Range Rovers before. Not as flashy and fancy as in the Mercedes EQS that will come as an SUV later that year, also competing with the Range Rover, and not as clean and reduced as, for example, in a Tesla. No, it is traditional, but very, very digital. Digital cluster instrument, a big floating screen with tactile feedback that I really love a lot, and everything well connected. You have Amazon's Alexa, you have all the details, you have internet access, you have your Wi-Fi router, so all there, but in a very detailed, very designated way. Finally, there is a third seat row in the Range Rover as well. While you sit like a king in the first row and a prince in the second row, or vice versa if you take the long wheelbase with the lounge chairs in the back, finally Range Rover has managed to install 2 additional seats in the third row, at least for your kids or your in-laws. That's mainly because competitors like Mercedes, BMW and Cadillac offering that long since, and Range Rover wants to prove it's not only looking for prestige and poshness, no, they're also looking for versatility and practicality. So yes, you can have your kids or your in-laws seated in the back, and it's not the most comfortable seat in the Range Rover, but it's pretty comfortable compared to the competition. You have your own AC zone, you have your own seat heating, you have your own USB chargers, and getting in and getting out is taking a bit of time, but not much work, because it's just the touch of a button that will initiate a seat ballet. Everything is moving, everything is folding down, giving you an easy access, and that means you can start your evening in style. Thanks for joining me on that first test drive with the new Range Rover, a car that is still leading the pack of luxury SUVs, even if the competition got stronger and the field is bigger than ever before. It has a presence of luxury wherever you go. It has the most luxurious interior that you can imagine, even with lots of digitalization. It offers more room and it drives better than ever before. Still great off-road, still comfortable on-road, and now even a bit sporty. So yes, the Range Rover still owns the crown of luxury SUVs. The Queen might become old and weary. In Downing Street number 10, things are going too well. Brexit is a mess, but seen from the steering wheel of a Range Rover, Britain is still great.